Okay, I would like to thank everyone. We're coming to you live from Lions Clubs International District 4C4 on behalf of our district governor, Lion Dr. June Valera, and our vice governors, Lion John Huey and Lion Kevin Guess. Welcome to our program, So You Want to Be a District Governor. I am past District Governor Mario Benavente of the San Bruno Lions Club, and my co-host and main co-presenter here today is past District Governor Lydia Taylor Bellinger of the San Francisco Merced Heights Lions Club.
Good morning.
Welcome to all of you. And I assume you can hear me. I hope I'm being heard.
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much. Okay, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and proceed with our presentation. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the District 4C4 YouTube channel and website. All opinions expressed are those of the presenter and the panelists. Okay, and just some announcements. Please stay on mute. You are on mute. And let me just do that. You are on mute. And if you want to talk, if you want to comment or ask questions, and you are encouraged to do so, please use the space bar. Press down on the space bar when you want to talk. Let go of the space bar when you're done talking. That will eliminate any kind of noise, background noise, side conversations, telephone calls, and things of that nature. PDG Lydia is going to be monitoring the chat room if you prefer to communicate that way. If she wants to come in with your question, she'll let us know. And if you would do me the favor of please sending your name and Lions member ID number to leadership@lions4c4.org. We would love to report the fact that you attended. Past district governors, you will be presented as contributors. And those of you who are not past district governors or PCCs, Lci, I would love to hear that you came to this. This is true whether you're joining us live or whether you're joining us later on YouTube. So please send me your participation, your name and member ID number to leadership@lions4c4.org. Okay, and even as we speak, the MD4 Fall Council of Governors meeting is taking place right now in Reading. They did the GLT training for the vice governors all day on Thursday, November 4th. They're hard at work. I just happened to go on Facebook this morning, saw some pictures, and I assumed that this was from their sessions on Thursday, going through the training, all the training that is required to be a vice governor and a district governor. And of course, they're also having a lot of fun up there. And again, I will come back to this. It's important to serve, but it's important to have fun while we're doing it. Since we're in multiple District 4, you probably are familiar with this map, but this is the area of California, multiple District 4 divided up into 15 sub-districts. Other multiples may be different. They may be, they may be a single, states could be a single multiple, or it could be divided up. I know Oregon's divided up into 4. But in any case, we're in 15 different districts, and you can look at the area that we serve, which is C4. So let's get this out of the way. Being a district governor and vice governor is pretty cool. You get to do installations, you get to do inductions, you're accorded all kinds of respect. As I said, it's a lot of fun. People want to take their picture with you. You get to become familiar with the higher ups within Lionism. Meet international presidents, international directors, but it does come with a lot of responsibility. What are those responsibilities? In 4C4, and I know in C5, PDG Nick, it is a 7-year commitment. You serve as second vice district governor, first vice district governor, district governor. After you're district governor, you're a PDG, but then you serve on the registration committee for convention, housing, you're in charge of housing. The third year out, you're the overall convention chair, and you're the fourth year out, the position I'm in right now, you're the PDG chair, the chair of the past district governors. If there's a meeting that needs to be called, you call it, you organize it, you chair it. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to do the job, or do I just want the title? It's more than a title. Will my spouse and family support this commitment? It's important to get this cleared from your wife, your husband, and your family members. Will my job allow for this commitment? Can I afford it? That's a big one. Can I travel to meetings inside and outside the district? And so it's important to be able to fulfill all these responsibilities and do the things that are required of being a vice district governor and a district governor. Other responsibilities, of course, visiting the clubs to support and encourage them in their service, their fundraising, traveling the state, and in some cases, traveling around the country. And then, of course, there are the MD4 responsibilities, the Council of Governors, serving on committees. Let's see if we get this to work.
Material and construction costs, but also the architect's fees and the costs of land servicing.
Oh, you left out a bunch of stuff.
Oh, really? Like what, for instance?
Well, first of all,
Well, yeah, thank you. Rodney's pretty funny, but first of all, we're not going to be covering how to put on an installation. We're not going to be covering how to make a district directory. These are things that fall under the district governor. We're not going to be talking about organizing cabinet meetings or running a convention. Hopefully you have a convention committee. Hopefully you've been involved in organizing cabinet meetings. Word processing is what's required for district directory. I didn't know how to do a district directory. Fortunately, I had someone who volunteered to do it. And of course, doing an installation, which is basic party planning. And I was really lucky to have someone who just stepped up. I didn't even have to think about it. Hopefully you are as fortunate as I was. So those are the things that we're not talking about. If you want to discuss that, perhaps we can do that at the end. Okay, I'll turn it over to PDG Lydia.
And I'm going to cover requirements. And as PDG Mario has already in District 4C4, it's a 7-year commitment. And the first year is coming in as second vice district governor. And to be elected as second vice district governor, these are the things that are required. You must be an active member in good standing with the Chartered Lions Club within our district. And not only do you need to be in good standings, but your club also must be in good standings. And one of the ways that you're in good standing is make sure all your financial obligations have been taken care of. You have to secure the endorsement of the club, and you need to get the majority of the club in the district to endorse you as well, because you're going to go out campaigning, but you need your club's endorsement. And one of the ways is you let the club know what it is that you want to do. And as you approach the club, there is a form letter that you need to have and have each club member sign that they are in support of you running for second vice district governor. And you will be required to have served within the district prior to this running for second vice district governor. You are required to have at least served as president of your Lions Club for a full term or majority portion of the term. You're required to have been part of the board for an additional 2 years. Another requirement is you need to have served as a zone or region chairperson or a cabinet secretary or treasurer. Must be in some form within the district's overall organization to be eligible. And none of the above can be done concurrent. You need to do them separately. So we're talking about a total of, I think it's 4 years commitment prior to even moving forward, okay? So we'll move on to the next slide. The nomination committee is usually organized by the current district governor will assign the team, and the nominating committee will receive your request to run for district governor, and they will determine if you meet these criteria. So it's not a matter of you just saying it. It will also be verified that what you have submitted is true, the true requirements have been completed, okay? Next slide, please. The years of service and your accomplished knowledge and wisdom will help you in this process. You need to foster a good relationship within the district, and the way you interact with members, not only in your club, within the district, is what's going to support you and be very supportive of you when you run for your term as governor, because you're not just the governor for your club, you're the governor for the entire district, okay? The candidates. Mario, you will take over here.
Sure. Yeah. So, once you've and going back to the previous point, one of the things is that not only do you have to be in good standing, your club has to have paid its dues with LCI. You can't run without having paid your dues. Okay. So now you've gone through these things. You meet the requirements, and so now you're a candidate, and you've made the decision. You think you want to run. And so the first question is, do you want to consult with other interested parties and avoid a contested race? And so, there's something to be said for merging lanes. For instance, you might say to someone, okay, you go this year, I'll go next year, or perhaps you both have your heart set on the same year. That is possible. And of course, you do want to go ahead and get your club's endorsement. That's the easier way. You can go to the majority of the clubs in the district, but the easier way is just to go get your own club's endorsement. You submit your application and credentials to the nominations committee, and there is a period of time where you're able to send out and inform the district of your intention to run, and that begins on January 1st. I was unsure whether it was February 28th or March 1st. I just put March 1st. Someone out there, if you know, just go ahead and correct me. But I don't think you want to wait until the last day. But anyway, PDG Lydia spoke about the form that needs to be filled out, and this is the form. Each year that you run, whether it's for second, first, or district governor, you have to complete this form. You have to submit it to the nominating committee, and for their approval. They give you the okay to go ahead and send out your letter or whatever, which looks something like this. And again, I'm sorry for the poor form of the letter. It's not a very good video copy. Believe me, I sent them out looking better than this. But any case, either you or your club secretary or whoever writes a letter addressed to the district saying all the wonderful things that you've done. And then you go ahead. I think at minimum, you have to have the club president and the club secretary sign and attest to the fact that you have won the endorsement of your club. It looks nice, I suppose, if you have other members of your club sign the letter. I don't know that that's strictly required, but anyway, I went ahead and did it. And I was very happy that no one signed Nate Thurman, Rick Barry, Willie Brown, because they had been known to do that on some of my previous letters. But anyway, you go ahead and you fold this up, you put it in an envelope, you address it, you stamp it, and you put it in the mailbox. Or maybe nowadays, I'm not sure what the legality is, maybe you email it, I don't know. But this is what I did. I sent it to the presidents, the secretaries, the PDGs, and members of the cabinet. And once I put it in the mailbox, it was, oh my God, what did I just do? I had instant remorse. I wanted to reach in there into the mailbox, pull those letters out of there and give it some more thought. But, of course, I'm happy that I did not commit a felony, that I did not go to jail, because I really did enjoy going through what I did through. It was just so much fun, and I really want you guys to all to enjoy it. This is Vice District Governor Kevin. And you guys all know Kevin, Nick, I don't know who's in the room now, but Kevin is our current second Vice District Governor. And I've got to say, he's a terrific speaker. And I don't know if this is the reason why. He's a veteran. And I suppose he's used to addressing troops or his men and women, perhaps. We were at a cabinet meeting, and I was the second vice. And Kevin was speaking, and he was doing such a terrific job. I mean, I felt like I got smoked. And the reason why was because, I was nervous. Even to this day, I still get a little nervous sometimes. And the only thing I can tell you is that the more that you talk, the more times that you do a public address, the less nervous you become, the more it becomes second nature. So I'm addressing this to those of you who may or may not suffer from this problem. It goes away. And so just don't worry about it, just go for it. Some of the questions you're going to want to ask during the course of the campaign. Do you need or want a committee to help you in your campaign? What kind of strategy are you going to employ? Are you going to visit the big clubs first? Are you going to consolidate the clubs that you already feel like you've got in your corner? You know, are you going, oh, don't forget that you need permission to visit the clubs. And so you can't just drop in and say, hey, I want to be here, you know, and just start talking. You got to ask them for permission. That's the polite thing to do. Do you visit alone? Do you go with club members? Do you bring your spouse or your partner in service? And don't forget that dinners cost money. Line Lydia?
And the campaign, once you start your campaign, public speaking is a good thing to do. And you have different options. Some people memorize what they're going to say, or some people may have a long handout that they read from. I don't advise that you do that because you will lose your crowd. So you want to kind of have a little short message, pretty much what you want to say to the group so that you get them on board to support you as you're running for office. And what I've found is that when you're running, you may not make it through the first time, but over the years that we've had campaigns, there's been more than, when there's more than one candidate running, when it's contested, there is a different move. So make sure you have your vision, know what it is, and stay with it, improved without any criticism. If you're running uncontested, what I've found is that the person that loses, and we've had 5 contested runs in our district, and out of that 5, 4 of them came back the following year and they won. So I'm saying this to say that if you run and you don't make it through the first time, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try the second time, because the second time out, usually the candidate is elected. And the only reason the 5th one wasn't elected is because the person moved out of state. So stay positive. And when you're running your campaign, make sure you're running a positive campaign. It's supposed to be fun. It's a serious thing, but at the same token, we do not get into slandering each other or saying negative things that's not necessary during your campaign. So stay as positive as possible while you're running your campaign. And during the campaign, you will have things like, you have district cabinet meetings there, you'll be able to talk. You'll have to have a nominating speech. And this is our first vice district governor, John, on the podium, as you can see, and there's Mario. And so you have
he warmed up the crowd for
me.
me. Yeah, he just warmed up the crowd for me, and he gave a very humorous talk. Yeah. I'm sorry, Lydia, go ahead.
And he, at that particular time, he was nominating Mario for the position that he was running for. So you want to pick someone to do your nomination speech. And then you also have to be prepared to give an acceptance speech. And your nominating speech should not be so long that you lose the crowd. You know, you don't have to list everything that you've done for the last 20 years. Correct. Just have a very short, to the point nominating speech, and then you do the same thing with your acceptance speech. And the things that you prepare for when you're running is buttons. You may have your buttons with your logo on it. You may have flyers that you pass out, and it's very important to get your fold out flyers. That tells the people that you want to vote for you all about you and what you have done.
They're easy to make too. Yeah, they're not
right.
They're not difficult to make. They're easy.
They're very easy, and you can make them on your computer. They're 3-fold. You fold them over, and that's why you don't have to tell everything, because your flyer is going to have the things listed in it that you have done through the years. Some people gave out calendars. Ink pens is a very good one. Most of us have always ordered the ink pens. I think Mario, you had the sunglasses at one time. And so people like to get little handouts. And the other thing is, I suggest you might want to make some little, I guess, business cards that you can also pass out if you want, you know. And at the convention, can your club make a good showing? Now, this is very important. You need to make sure that you have your club behind you and supporting you, because you cannot do everything at the convention by yourself. You need to have your club members there helping you set up. They're the one, you may even have the president of your club do your introduction nomination speech. They have to set up for the cocktail parties, the goodie bags, and every candidate usually will have goodie bags, anywhere from 200 to 50 bags. And the things that you put in the goodie bags is what you determine. Most of the time there's a little bottle of water, chips, of course, your flyer, your fold out, if you have not placed it around. Most people put it in the bags. And then you also have your candidate's cocktail party. Now, at our convention, when we have the candidate cocktail party, that's usually done on one night, and the next night is the district governor's cocktail party. For the candidate's cocktail party, you are responsible for contributing to that cost. You provide $50 towards the beverages that will be served during the evening. And the convention committee will have a bar set up, and they will usually have a bartender there. So you don't have to worry about assigning a bartender, but you do have to submit your check to the convention committee to cover your costs. And there will be hors d'oeuvres served, and the cost will be anywhere from $50 to $75. And keep in mind, this is the second and the first vice district governor candidates are contributing towards the cost of the hors d'oeuvres. So if you say, oh, that's not very much, that's because both parties are contributing. And you want to keep your hors d'oeuvres to a minimum, because shortly after that, we go to dinner. So you don't have to try and feed.
I know what she's referring to, because my club supported me and they bought like $300 worth of food, and it was just too much food. I mean, I love them for it, but it was just too much. You don't really need that much food, so because you're going to have dinner right afterwards. Right. Well, PDG Lydia, can I interrupt you for just 1 second? Yes. And I'm going to ask PDG Nick, if you're on the line. Nick, are you there?
Yes.
Nick, is what we're talking about so far, does that pretty much go in line with what you're doing in C5?
Right on track. Right on track.
Right on track. You guys do the same thing. Feel free to chime in. And again, PCC email, PDG Fanny, anyone else out there who might be a PDG, feel free to chime in if you feel like we're missing something and make a comment. Okay, Lydia, did you have anything else on this page? Oh, the number 250 there. That is the approximate number of people at convention. Of course, you're going to want to check with the convention committee. You don't want to prepare too many goodie bags, but you want to have enough to give to everyone. And you want just a little bit extra, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit.
Yes, and, okay. And the other thing about having your goodie bags, make sure that you know from the convention committee where you're going to set up and the time frame. It's nothing worse than when the Lions attending the convention go to sign in and register, and there's the goodie bags from the first vice district governor or from the district governor, but the seconds haven't arrived yet. So it's important to make sure that you have everything taken care of and get it done timely.
Thank you, Lydia. Okay, so we're going to continue on with the campaign. I will say that if you haven't figured this out yet, if you see a picture of me or Lydia up on the upper right-hand corner, I believe you can minimize that if that is blocking your view of any of the visual effects that we have on this presentation. But anyway, as PDG Lydia said, you want to get someone with a little bit of gravitas to make your seconding speech, someone well respected. I got PDG Mel to nominate me for second vice district governor. You can't do any better than that, I think. And of course, once you get up there, you've got the podium. You want to make an impassioned speech. You pound the podium like Khrushchev. Let them know that you're passionate about Lionism. Let them know that you have a plan, to support them, that you're counting on their support, that you need their votes, that you're going to be there for them, and that you're going to take the job seriously. That is, I can't stress that enough. I don't think it's a great idea to read right off a piece of paper, but especially when you're the candidate. But you want to know what you're going to say. And of course, then I believe in most district conventions, there's going to be a little presentation, a little demonstration of support. And so you've got to have ready, your posters, your placards. Some people come in with noisemakers, maybe a little soap bubble guns or something. I don't know if that's even allowed in the hotels, but I did it at a place down in Sacramento. But in any case, a demonstration of some sort usually follows your acceptance speech. And congratulations, you're elected. So now what? You start to consider, hopefully you're already considering this. I had PDG Mel in my club. I have now ID International Director Canabara in my club. And, of course, I always looked up to Mike and all the other PDGs, but I always caught myself wondering, what would Steve Kiki do? As I said, I had Mel, I had Ken, but I always wanted to check with Steve. And so you're going to do that sort of thing too. So now the work begins. Lydia, are you up?
Yes.
Okay, you're elected in May. Come June, it's time to work.
And then once you get elected, then the first thing that happens is you start your Council of Governors meetings. And this is when you meet the second vice district governors, the council chair, and CAS. And
you're not quite in office yet, I will point out. This is still June. You don't take office until July. I should have put that in there. But anyway,
right.
Continue.
And and this is why when we were talking about the goodie bags where you will make some extra ones, when you go to your Council of Governors meeting, you will bring goodie bags for the entire council. So usually you will have them and there's 15 councils, and you usually will have them for the second vice district governors and the first and the DGs that's there. So you usually would want to bring the goodie bags, especially for your council. And you'd give CAS one, and of course the council chairperson would you give them one, and make sure you have your fold out in there so they know exactly who you are. And that's when you first start making these different bonds and relationships with various other Lions from other districts.
You become great
Mario,
friends. Yeah.
You can take this on from here. Most of the pictures you see, this is part of Mario's Council of Governors. So that's why I want him to talk about this.
Well, I guess the point I was trying to make with this was that, you have these fellow council members and you work together for 3 years. You're seeing each other 4 times a year, if not more, especially if you go to visit them, and they become great friends. I gave Nick a call on the phone. I said, Nick, you want to come in, chime in on this? And, I believe, Nick, you were at this meeting, but I think you left a little early before we actually got together. But, you just become great friends. And, this picture was taken this past February. We're almost 3 years out of office, and we still love to get together with the council, our fellow council people and their spouses. And really, I think it's just something that's going to be a lifelong friendship. Sorry about that, Nick.
and that is so true. Even with my council of governors, there's members that are still in contact with you. You get emails from them, you get Christmas cards from them, you stay in contact. And when they have, like they're having the Council of Governor meeting now, and even though we're not the seated council of governors, our groups will usually go and we'll plan a dinner together or lunch together so that we stay in contact with each other. It is a relationship that you develop that continues on even after you're no longer the seated council, but you are friends for life. And that's one of the things that I really cherished, was the relationship that was bonded with the people that was in my COG. And
Did you
once
want to cover this, Lydia?
I can, once we get, actually, why don't you cover that?
Okay, well, anyway, I mean, there are some things you're doing when you're first meeting your second vice district governors. You know, you're selecting a uniform, which could be, didn't happen in our council, but, you know, some people come in with some very definite ideas. And so I heard of at least one instance, so it was a big argument, but I mean, hopefully that's not going to be the case. You're going to choose leaders, you're going to choose officers. Nick, PDG Nick was our council secretary, and Mike Jones was the boot. And the boot is the fellow that imposes fines for minor infractions, showing up late to a meeting, you know, talking, looking at your cell phone during especially during the formal sessions. Generally, they'll collect a token amount from each council person, each vice governor, say $20 per meeting, you know, and it adds up. When you got 15 of you, you know, that's $300 collected for each cabinet meeting, council meeting, sorry. A leader with ambitions may become apparent. You know, if someone, you know, stands up there at the front of the room, claps their hands and said, let's get this meeting started, you know, maybe that's someone who wants to go on beyond being a district governor, but it is fun to see the politics as it comes along. Committee assignments. If you have a preference, be prepared to stay while you are qualified. There are a number of committees at the multiple district level. And, you know, you want to take a look at these before you arrive so you know which ones you are interested in. And basically, you know, they got the list of, committees, and they say, who's interested in budget and finance? Who's interested in this one? Who's interested in that one? And if more than one person is interested for any of them, then you each got to give a little talk. And you talk about, you know, why you think you're the best one, right? And it's not a long talk, minute or two, and then there's a vote held, and the person who wins that vote goes on that committee, and the person who doesn't win the vote goes back into the pot and tries for another different committee.
And the main thing, though, about these committees, you will be on one of these committees.
Absolutely.
No one goes to MD4 and just sit. You are part of the overall operations, and you are expected to sign on to one of these committees, not just sign on, but also be actively engaged in what's going on in your committee.
Absolutely. And the thing is that, you know, there'll be a district governor on each committee. There'll be a first vice governor. There'll be a second vice governor. And then there'll be 3 non-governor members who rotate. So the person who has been on there for on his 3rd year will be the chair, and the 2 below him will move up just the way you move up. And so it's a committee of 6. But anyway, these are the committees. So if you've got your heart set on one, be prepared to say why you want it. I'm doing this, Lydia. I think I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, during your VDG years, I mean, you know, you're to accompany and support the district governor on the visitations. I mean, that's obvious. At the June Council of Governors meeting, you know, there's Jack. He's finishing up his term as district governor. He's going off the COG. Macy and Ron, they're moving up, and Mario is moving in. And so, you know, it's an interesting thing. And then you become part of the team. And you do things together with your governor and with the vice district governor that's serving alongside of you. You know, you go to the LCI convention, you go to the USA Canada forums. This is a USA Canada forum, as a matter of fact. I think this is Omaha. You know, you spend time together. Your job as the vice governor is to support the governor. That is important. You're trying to make the district succeed. You want your district to be successful. When it's your turn, your vice governors will support you. The other part is that you're learning from your governor. You're learning from the vice governor ahead of you. And so, you know, take the time to learn, take the time to be educated about what needs to be done. you continue on during your vice governor years. The other thing is that, you're going out with the governor to visit the clubs. I put here campaign again. Really, if once you're elected second vice governor, it's highly unlikely that you will not advance to first. I mean, you really have to mess up big time to not be elected the second and third time, because there's no one else who's really qualified to move up. But you campaign again. So really, it's just getting to know the clubs and the officers, and it's the clubs and the officers and the members getting to know you. And again, you want them to know that you are serious, that you're there to support them, and that you need their support as well.
And that's important, because you don't want, just because you've been voted in a second and it's an automatic move up. But at the same token, you need those clubs' support. You need them to know that you want them on board, that you want them to be a part of and supportive of you, and not just because you're in that position and think you don't have to ask them for their support. It's important that you remember that and don't say, well, I'm already in, so I don't have to do that. You need their support, because once you become the district governor, you want every club in that district supporting you and behind you while you're doing whatever your slogan is or whatever it is that you want to accomplish during your term. And it starts when you're second vice district governor and first vice district governor, then move on up to DG.
Thank you, Lydia. And of course, you're finding the projects. Now, when you're on these committees, when you're attending these meetings, you're going all these different projects, all these different ideas, what the clubs are doing, LCIF, CLF, Lion's Eye Foundation, all these things are going to be coming at you from all sides. And you're going to be finding projects that you want to emphasize. You're going to be developing the ideas that are going to shape your year as district governor. And so that is what you're doing during your vice district governor years. Lydia, I think you're up.
Preparation and training.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you will receive training from the MD4, and there's also various institutes that you can attend as well. And it's very important that you go to these trainings. And when you go to these trainings, you need to attend them, and you need to get there on time, and you need to stay for the entire training. Because when you go to the training, if you don't stay for the entire time, or if you don't show up at the time you're supposed to be there, then you miss vital things that you're going to need during your term. So
actually, can I ask any of the PDGs, would any of the PDGs like to chime in on the Lions Leadership Institute? Fanny, are you there?
Yes, this is Fanny. I have the honor to be the immediate past pandemic district governor. And so from what your question about, yes, I attended my first, I attended the Leadership Institute. In fact, Carol was my roommate. And so we have very good times. And then Ken was, Ken was our instructor, especially on public speaking. So a lot of the things that you said that you have covered are being touched on. And I have to say, you come away, sometimes you don't have to think that you want to be, you just want to get, trained. And you come away with the determination and the inspiration that, yes, I wanted to do it, and yes, I can do it. So I can't speak. I think that I really like everybody to participate and have a chance to go to, especially the Santa Rosa is not that far away from us. So
yeah,
and
actually, go ahead.
Too. Oh, the USA Canada Forum too, and then next one is in Calgary, and I was very lucky that I had the opportunity to prepare one of the presentation, and so I had indeed a lot of, and I have to say there was a lot. It's stated to be a leadership training forum too, so I would encourage everyone to go to.
Yeah, and I think what we wanted to emphasize too is that 4C4 is offering a grant to first timers. I spoke to the district governor yesterday, and the cost of the institute has gone up from $300 to $400. However, the grant from 4C4, and that may be true in other districts, is now going to be $200 instead of $150. But that is only for first timers, and there is a limit of 1 per club. The district will cover up to 7 members. If there are space available, and we don't have 7 yet, then they will consider a second person from the same club.
And the MD4 Alliance Leadership Institute has been around a long time.
Yeah.
And you do learn a lot. I attended it when it was at Harris Ranch, and we know how long ago that was because we're not going there anymore. But even then, Mario, the district would pay a portion of our fees when we attended that. And it's good to see that the district governor is still doing that to encourage first timers to attend. And I see in the chat that Yvonne also commented on the fact that she also attended the Lions Institute in 2004 and found it very informative. And I think the time that I attended, I think Ken was also there. I don't know if you were there, Yvonne, I don't remember, but I had a great time. And once again, I met some fantastic people from other districts, and we worked through a lot of things. You learn a lot. And this was long before I even considered even becoming a district governor. This is during the eras when I was being cabinet secretary. Okay.
Okay, so thank you. And again, Lions Leadership Institute, a great thing. It's in Santa Rosa coming up in January. I believe in February, there's going to be one in Southern California, same deal. And then, of course, the USA-Canada Forum, which may or may not be, well, it will be further away. And again, a lot of education. You can make and here's the point, moving from your district into multiple district and even nationally is kind of like leaving your club and joining the district and going to district events. It's the same thing. You meet IDs, international directors, and you find out, boy, they're just Lions. I mean, it's great. So anyway, let's move on. Lydia, go on ahead.
Also with the LCI training, there's manuals online. You can go into the site and pull up the manuals and review those, as well as going to these various training sites. You can get it off the computer as well. So you also have the Advanced Lions Leadership Institute. That's optional. You can attend that as well. And I know District Governor Fanny has been gung-ho on attending all of these various leadership institutions and getting totally engaged. So there are all kinds of ways that you can prepare yourself for becoming a district governor, even after you have been elected, to make sure you stay ahead of everything. And when they give you information and they ask you to do things, you need to do it. You cannot go to your training class and have not completed your assignment, because the moment you walk in there and you haven't done it, you're already behind with the training. So make sure that you do that. So I know when I went through my training, we had various tasks that we were to complete at home and bring with us to the training site, and it was most helpful. So do your homework, be prepared. It's very important.
Thank you. And I think nothing is more obvious than someone who's not prepared. And you can't just stroll in when you feel like it. You got to be on time. You got to do the work. Thank you, Lydia. Yes.
This is PGG Nick. Make a comment about the advanced training.
Absolutely.
First of all, the regional training is excellent. The curriculum is about Lionism. It's about skills and personal development. If you go to that training and then go to the advanced, you're going to say, this is the same old stuff, but it's not. It's more in depth. And the reason it's the same stuff is that California is so far ahead of the other states in terms of regional training. But what has been said before is who you are meeting with. In the regional training, you're meeting with all people from Northern California. Some Southern California people might come up, but you're meeting other people from Northern California, who will be with you on your council possibly. And then when you go to the advanced training, you're meeting with people from all over the United States, and you're getting great ideas. I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, PDG Nick.
If I may also add that our district is very blessed. Our district, when I go to the MD4 and beyond and LCI, I always get compliments at how, like I echo what Nick was saying about California is, and within California, our district 4C4 is really up there in the forefront. So thanks to Mario in the past couple of years, we are now putting on all the trainings that many of it that is organized by is being archived in our digital library that I started. And this is also all the resources that's available in training material that will help everyone. And Mario is making it accessible to all Lions. So I think that we have to look at the diamonds in our own field first. Don't forget that we have diamonds in our district. Thank you.
Thank you, PDG Fanny. Okay, we're going to move on to travel here because I mentioned travel and quite a bit of travel is involved. And so I'm going to share with you my itinerary, and maybe some of the PDGs and PCC can let me know if this is pretty typical. You're going to travel within this district, of course. You're going to be visiting the clubs. You're going to be attending their events, and it can be a difference. You know, we're in a small district, as you saw on the map before. C5 is a bigger district. L1 is a big district. L6, I mean, if you look at that MD4 map, you'll see that there's quite a variation in the size of the districts. And again, that's kind of population based. You're going to attend their events to support them. You're going to travel outside the district, the COG meetings, Council of Governors meetings. You're going to visit other districts. Now, you have this option. You can visit other districts and you pay the travel, you pay to get yourself there. Your host will pay for your accommodations and for your meals. Other districts visiting 4C4 cabinet meetings and conventions, well, then it's the opposite thing. You pay for their accommodations, you pay for their meals, and you pay for a gift. Traditionally, it can be a physical gift, or it can be a donation to their favorite charity. There is a budget allowed for this sort of thing. It helps, but it doesn't cover everything. The good thing to know is that for convention, the District 4C4 Convention Committee pays for your guest hotels and meals Friday through Sunday. It won't pay for the gift, but it will pay for the hotels and meals. And so again, I always enjoyed visiting other districts. I enjoyed having people come to visit mine.
So Mario, before you move off of this about travel, you should also know that when you're second and first vice district governors and you're traveling with the district governor to visit various clubs within the district, and I strongly advise you to do that, you are responsible for getting to the location on your own. And you are also responsible for, if there is a meal included, you need to find out what the cost is and if you are required to cover that cost. And most of the time, as second and first vice district governors, you are paying that yourself. The only time you don't pay is for the convention. The convention committee takes care of that for your guests then. But when you're traveling with the district governor, you are paying as second and first vice. So make sure you include that in your budget.
Thank you, Lydia. We'll continue on the Council of Governors meetings. And again, going back to where they are in Reading right now, generally there's formal meetings where you're seated by council. The district governor is in the front, the first vice is behind them, the second vice is behind them. On occasion, I suppose they'll do it a little more informally where the governors are just seated out in the audience. But during the time that I was there, it was just as you see here. And so they have formal meetings, Robert's Rules of Order, that sort of thing. But then you also break up into Committee meetings. I believe this is a leadership. Is that leadership, PDG Fanny?
Let me
Okay.
see. Yes, I
You
think
were on
so.
leadership, okay. And I'm pretty sure that District Governor June is on Youth Exchange, and so he's got a passion for that. I mean, so anyway, you break up into less formal meetings, and and there'll be other meetings, larger meetings that are not as formal as the ones you see down below. And then usually there's an opportunity for the councils to go out and enjoy themselves at a restaurant outside. If you get there early, if you get there the night before, generally the council is going to get together, go out to a restaurant, enjoy it and socialize. The host committee is going to put together lunch and dinner. And again, you pay for these lunches and dinners. Sometimes they're informal, sometimes they're pretty fancy. You know, it'll, as I'll show you later, and as you may have seen, you know, some of them may be a masquerade or costume sort of thing. This is PDG Judy Barr with her husband Chris, and you know they went all out, as some of us often do. And there's me and Nick together. We were having a good time with Barr looking over our shoulders, and that is Kevin Patel. So I mean, the point I'm making here is, once again, you know, your council becomes like your family. I mean, and we have a good time together. It is just a great time to be together. And there are times where you have to be ready to dress the part. And this is PDG Lydia's council. This must have been a district, an MD4 convention where we had an international guest. And
Yes,
so,
it
you know,
was.
you dress up formally on occasion. So men, you'll need a tuxedo with a black jacket and a white coat. Ladies, formal wear will be the order of the day. So that's one of the things that we want to let you know. Be prepared. Other district cabinet meetings. Going out, that's me with Mike Jones of L4, traveled down to Big Bear Lake, flew into the John Wayne Airport. We drove from there to Big Bear Lake, and you visit just like you see at our cabinet meetings. And you know, you're there as a guest, and but your host is not always able to stay with you. He's got business to conduct. So instead of sitting there at the head table looking at your phone or reading their pamphlets or whatever, I highly recommend that you go out and you talk to the members. I thought that this was so enriching. I mean, you get to hear what they're doing. You get to hear, you know, they're so proud of their projects. The young lady there on the lower right, she was the Leo of the Year. I gave her a set of my sunglasses. The gentleman in the yellow, sorry about the angle of the picture, but he was a PDG from A2, I believe.
I think he was at Maxine's council.
Very possible, yes. He's from A2, and I was just picking his brains. So you know, you go out and you just make friends. You know, you just say, "Hi, my name's Mario, and you know, what are you? How long have you been a Lion? What are your projects?" You know, and really, it's just really enjoyable to do. So I would recommend, when you go and visit your other districts, you get to know the districts. And you know, not only is it fun to go and visit other districts, it's fun to have them come and visit you. So you know, just go ahead, make the visitations if you can, if it's within your budget. And we'll be talking about finances here in just a little bit. Travel, a lot of travel involved. If you do the whole thing, again, that's a map of our multiple. And we're talking about going to visit other districts. And that was my itinerary. I went to visit Rajan in District C3 in the East Bay, went up to C1. That was for a convention. San Ramon, that was you, Nick, at your convention in San Ramon, where I just had a fantastic time. St. Martin for C6. I flew to La Jolla, Big Bear, and Carlsbad. Drove to Taft, which is down the Central Freeway, to visit Kevin, and Reading once again for a convention for Eileen Guadagnolo from A1. And so that's a good bit of travel. I went to the meetings anytime I was invited, unless I had something going on in my own district. I tried to make it. It was just something that I wanted to do. Same things. Now, these are more, you know, the cabinet meeting visits, convention visits, those are not mandatory. The Council of Governors, MD4 conventions, you should be at these. And you can see the itinerary for that. Twice the Burlingame, which was really convenient for me. San Diego, Reading, Fresno, you can imagine where I flew to and where I didn't. Prim, I actually, for Prim, I flew into Las Vegas and drove, if I remember correctly. I hope my memory serves me well. And of course, there was some national travel. I went to LCI conventions in Hawaii, Chicago, and Las Vegas. Chicago going in, Las Vegas going out. I did skip Fukuoka, Japan. I might have just been feeling the monetary pinch a little bit at that time. I believe that's the reason why I did not go to Fukuoka. I did go to Des Moines, Grand Rapids, and Portland for USA Canada forums. And LCI training was held in Anaheim and Burlingame, which again is not that far away. PDGs, I imagine that most of you had something similar to that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Lydia, you want to take this?
Okay, we're talking about leading up to your years as district governor. You know you will be attending training sessions, and you will be filling out your goals for membership and new clubs, leadership and service. And this is important because even when you go to the MD4, they're going to be asking you, what are your goals? They're going to ask you, how many clubs are you going to be bringing in? What are you going to do about retention? So you have to be prepared to address those things, not only just address them, but be ready to follow through and accomplish them. And
there's a goal and there's an action plan.
yes.
And you consult with your vice governors on these plans as well.
Yeah, and you're not, as DG, you're not going to try and do it all by yourself. That's why you have a team. You have your first and vice district governor. And then also when you develop your cabinet, you're going to put people on there that can help you fulfill these goals and in order for you to be successful and continue to grow your district. That is the most important thing, growing your district and taking care of the service for your communities. So you have to have your team assisting you with that. You cannot do it all by yourself. Okay, as your installation at the convention nears, you need to make arrangements through LCI for travel, the agency, the hotel accommodations. LCI will reimburse you on a lot of these things that you're being involved with when you're going to the COG meetings. There's a portion of the reimbursement you get.
We'll be talking about finance in just a little bit. I don't remember what's after this slide, so let me just go ahead and take a look. Okay, go on ahead, Lydia. Go with this.
Designing your global action team. This is what, as I was saying, you got to get these people on board that's going to help you, your leadership team. Encourage, and that's the team that Mario and I are working with right now, encouraging and training new leaders. Your service team, they're the ones that's out there in the community encouraging the Lions in your district to follow through with the service. And you may have a specific service project that you want to take care of or something that you want to do during your term. I know during my term, we looked for a service project that would involve the entire district. And I was fortunate enough to have Mario and also
Debbie Kilty.
Debbie on board to spearhead that for me. And we did that
Rise Against Hunger.
Rise Against Hunger event. And we not only did we do it once, but we did it twice. And both times it was very successful. And the first time we did it, it was just amazing at the amount of members, Lions members and non-Lion members, because they brought their children, they brought their family members that showed up at the Burlingame Hall and participated. And it was just a true bonding event. So you want to look at a service project that you can get on board and do that. I know one year they had the tree planting service project for the entire MD4 district, I think was involved. It came from LCI. So that's important that you look at that. And then membership. And as I've already stated, you want to grow your membership. If you don't grow the membership, then the district dies. It's important that we continue to add new clubs. It's important that we keep the clubs that we already have and the members in terms of retention. And so you have to have a person assigned as the membership chair that is motivated to continue to grow District 4C4. So the district governor is the chair of the global action team. And now they've actually changed all these various titles, but the titles doesn't matter so much as to what it is that you are to do. And that is to develop and continue to grow your district and have meaningful service projects, okay? Now designate your cabinet, designing your cabinet actually.
Yeah.
And one of the most important people in your cabinet is your cabinet secretary. So you need to make sure that you have selected someone that not only can do the job, but they also are able to interact with Lions from all the various clubs, because that is the chain between you and the district governor, is your cabinet secretary as the district governor. So it's got to be someone that's not cocky, that can listen to people's point of view and then carry the information on to the district governor, someone that they can call to and get advice from, or at least find out where they can get information that they need. So it's got to be someone that's very receptive and open. And your cabinet treasurer, you want someone with the highest degree of, that's going to maintain the treasure. You don't have to worry about the funding or where the money is going. They're going to keep excellent records. And it's important that you keep good records, because at the end of the year, there is an audit, okay?
Lydia, PDG Lydia,
Yes.
I'm going to move us along a little bit because we are starting to run up against the clock. How about if you just address, when do you start to build your team?
You actually, you should start looking at potential people when you're a second vice district governor. And I'm not saying start selecting them, but as you're visiting the clubs with the district governor, when you're second and first, just be observant of the people that's around you. And then you'll start to say, oh, they would be good as this. They'll be good doing that, or they'll be going that. So that's when I first started looking at potential people for the various positions, but you actually don't start assigning them until you get elected as district governor. You want to have your cabinet already ready to roll once you have been selected. So usually I would say anywhere from 6 months out as you start getting close to being elected.
Maybe some of the other PDGs can chime in, but I mean, I think, you want to be with a little bit of respect, a little bit of sensitivity to the sitting district governor. You can talk, but there's certainly no announcing. There's certainly no, you don't want to detract from the present governor that you're serving under. Any of the other PDGs have anything to say about this?
I'll chime in. When your governor gets his or her team and gives you the okay, that's when to go. In 4C5, we started letting people get going in advance during Mike's year. Up until that time, you couldn't do anything till July 1 of your year, which was ridiculous.
Right.
One other thing I would like to say, on the LCIF chair, could you maybe in the future put a slash on that and put CLF right behind that chair? California Alliance Foundation.
Thank you, Nick.
I think it's really important that those two people work together. We're very fortunate in 4C5. Andy and I work together in fundraising, and we make sure that people understand that those are not diametrically opposed. They work together.
CLF is California Alliance Foundation, people. So you've heard about California Alliance Foundation from me. Nick does a much better job of it than I do. But anyway, thank you for chiming in on that line, Nick. Let's move on here. Okay, so Line Lydia, with your permission, I'll continue on here.
Okay, go right here.
Yeah, you want to meet with your key people and trusted people. And I snuck this picture. I don't know that Lydia and Denise even knew that I took the picture. But basically, this was at a pre-cabinet meeting, and I saw them in there. They were planning, what are we going to do next? And so I just snuck a picture. Did you know I took that picture, Lydia?
No, I did not.
And anyway, you want to gather your cabinet and educate them on your goals and their duties. So, you got to let them know, hey, you got to contact your clubs. You got to remain in contact with your clubs. You got to let them know what the goals are. You got to let them know, what's coming up. Send them an occasional email. Give them a phone call. Where are your reports? You got to submit your reports. Let us know what you're doing. The zone chairs have to let the governor know if anything's going on, or if there's any trouble with any of the clubs. So these are the things that you're going to be talking to your cabinet about. And so you talk about your goals at a pre-cabinet meeting or before you take office, and you let them know what you expect.
Yes.
And then I added this one, a question of philosophy. Do you get the best people you can possibly get? And of course, it sounds like a no-brainer. Of course, you get the best person you can possibly get. Or do you identify lines with leadership potential and place them in key spots? PDG Lydia alluded to the importance of getting a treasurer. You might think that if you can find a CPA, you get a CPA. I think I went with the second option, identifying lines with leadership potential and placing them in key spots. My treasurer, I didn't even know if he could balance his checkbook. I asked Dr. June Valera, to be my treasurer because I saw in him leadership potential, which was borne out because he's now the district governor. But I wanted him to know where every penny was going. I wanted him to know where things were going, how the money was being spent, how to put the budget together. I saw leadership in him just in his work with the clubs and in the district. And I said, this is the person. And I had to talk him into it, actually. And this is the person I want to be treasurer. Same thing with Kevin Guess. I saw leadership potential in him. I wanted to nurture that. I asked him to be my executive administrator. I wanted him to know what I was thinking, and he wasn't afraid to go out and cajole people if it needed to happen. But I mean, that's the sort of thing. So, you can get someone who's done it before, or you can identify leadership potential. And so, there's a couple of different ways to do it. And so that's just a thought I had.
On that note, Mario,
Yes.
you asked me to be a region chair and I turned it down because at that time it's because I've already done it twice and I have no, I want to give it to other people's opportunity. At that time, I was not thinking about being a DG. So that is my mistake. I want to share with other people. When you are on that leadership journey and people give you opportunity to be seen, be heard, be known, take it. Don't do what I did.
Well, I mean, that's fine. And sometimes, and you have to understand, you're gonna be rejected when you're asking people to take on these positions. But they have their reasons, and you respect
the reason
that.
was
And
not you, Mario. The reason was absolutely I was thinking of giving other people the opportunity.
No, don't. No.
And Mario, what you said is true. And like I said, as I traveled through the district, I saw people that I thought had leadership skills, but some of them had never, to me, been given the opportunity to serve as a zone chair or region chair. And I looked at that and Denise and I talked and I said, I think these people would be good doing this. And a prime example is Lion Peter Lamb. He had never taken a leadership role. He became a zone chair and he just moved right on up in the district, took on other roles.
That was a good pick. That was a good pick.
And he's excited, and it was a few more like that I selected, and they have excelled in the district. So I think it's great that you do look at some people and select them based on what you see as potential leadership skills.
Yeah. Lydia, you want to take this one? Just a brief talk about the budget.
The budget, it's important that you develop your budget. And once you develop the budget, you not only work with developing it for your term, but you also need to work with the incoming district governor also, so that the budget's balanced out and they know exactly what each one is doing, because your budget also determines some of the costs that the incoming district governor will have too, in terms of the amount of region chairs, the amount of zone chairs, because there's money in your budget that covers their supplies So it's important that you look at all of that and follow your budget and make sure it's balanced. And the budget is based on the money that we received from our members paying our dues. And you get that money, I think it's twice a year that you get funds, and you have to base your budget on that. Too often, what I had observed is that the budgets was projected for based on the amount of members and how much money you're going to get from each members. And you have to be real careful with that you don't project it too high and then you don't have the funds to cover it. And I've seen that happen. Okay, so make sure you sit down and work through your budget and talk to some past district governors that's done budgets for their term, so and get some input from them as well. And also the outgoing district governor, because you'll find out some things that came up that weren't included in their budget that now needs to be included. Like when we added the second vice district governor, for years, there was nothing in the budgets for that. So it's important that you look at the overall picture and not just take it for a grain of sand. Believe me, budgets can be difficult.
Yeah,
If
and
I
of course,
may make a comment,
go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Your budget is passed in the same year you voted in as district governor. So when you're first vice district governor, when you pass the budget, that's your budget. Those are the expenses in your year as district governor.
Mhm.
So make sure you have your plan on what you want to do. So if you want to do advertising and promotion, you need to add that into your budget. That's voted on in the same year you become are voted in as district governor. So that's very important to take and set up your plan and what you want to accomplish in your year as district governor.
And that's exactly why I said you have to sit down and meet with the first vice district governor, because you're planning out ahead. And if you don't do that, then when they come in as district governor, they're going to have a problem.
Okay, and thank you. And I will point out that I guess when you're coming in as district governor, you're the first vice district governor. You've not been elected yet, but you still have to present a budget for your incoming year. And so that's usually at the district convention in District 4C4. That's in May. The other thing that I'll point out is that there is money set aside for the governor, the first and the second, for an honorarium and for cabinet meeting allowance to help you pay for those gifts, those meals, those accommodations. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on too. Thank you, Lydia.
Mhm.
Okay, well, let me take this on. We've got a district elect school and the LCI convention and the order of business, because now, it's time to take office. And so the idea here is to, learn, go to district governor-elect school, but also to have fun. And Nick and I went into office in Chicago. And when we arrived, this is what we saw. And there are 750 district governors around the world, if I remember correctly, somewhere in that vicinity. And so you're in a big auditorium and they talk about LCI and they have philosophical speakers that talk about, being a positive influence on the world. And they talk about leadership and all the programs and how we're helping the youth and LCIF and all these great things. I mean, it is mesmerizing. I still think about that lady in white, Nick, who spoke about being being a positive, having a positive aura. I still think about her. But anyway, you're meeting with people from, there's Norm from our own multiple, but you're also meeting people from India, from Kentucky, Tennessee. I don't know who you had in your district governor-elect schools, but I mean, it's a big group. Since there are 750 of you, there are a lot of groups. And so, that was my group. There we are. It is a lot to learn still. They're kind of like sealing up what you've learned in all those trainings that came before it. And again, repetition is the key. I mean, you're not going to pick something up on the first time. Hearing it over and over again, that is what does it. And district governor-elect school kind of seals it up for you. And it is a fun time. I mean, there's the Parade of Nations at LCI convention. I mean, I probably misplaced that one. That is actual convention. This is still part of District Governor-elect school here. There's Nick with Joanne on the right, and then there's Rose with Chris and Cindy. They were spouses, and there again, there's an opportunity for a formal dress. The convention itself, you got the plenary sessions where they're very inspirational. Fantastic entertainment, Blues Brothers, Chicago, we saw Journey, we saw, I mean, you know, you talk about all the people, the Charlie Daniels band was there. Motivational speakers, we had Al Gore one year, the following year in Las Vegas, we had George Bush. It's just, the speakers are amazing. There's opportunities for sightseeing, that's Chicago. And of course, spending time with your friends and, you know, not just friends from your district, but friends from outside the district. And, you know, it's just a fantastic time, a great experience.
Yes.
Lydia, you want to talk about club visits?
Well, you as district governor, you will be going on club visits, but as stated earlier, you don't just show up. You actually set up a schedule for your club visits, and then you have your, I was fortunate enough that I had a team that would call the clubs and set it up and find out what days the clubs were meeting, and then was the district governor allowed to come and visit on that day. So, and there was some days when you would actually visit more than one club in one day. If they had a noontime meeting and then an evening meeting, then you may be at both of them, because the goal is to try and get in and visit every club in your district at least once. Ideally, you want to visit them twice, but our district has grown so now, and we have so many clubs in the district, it's kind of difficult to get there to see them all at least twice, but you should make every effort to visit each club at least once. And when you go there, you are the agenda. So be prepared to talk about what your goals are, what your objectives are, what's going on with LCI, what's going on with the MD4, because these are the things that your members want to know about. And so share your visions, your goals, inspire. And then some of the meetings that you go to, the clubs may ask you to install people, or they may ask you to present various awards. So when you call, and whoever you're having to call and set up your meetings, try and find that information out. So when the district governor goes to the meetings, they are prepared to do those jobs as they are required. You don't want to show up. We need to always be prepared. Always have your little cards in your pocket as to when you're giving out awards or when you're installing someone, but you need to do that. And there's a protocol in District 4C4 in terms of how you're introduced at the meetings. And I strongly encourage you to keep it short and to the point. You know, when you go, when each person in your cabinet is being introduced, it should be very short introductions and not long drawn out. No club member want to sit there and hear about all the 50,000 awards and that you have received over a period of time. So just very brief summary of who you are, maybe list your spouse, your club that you're in, and what your goals and objectives are, and move on. That goes true for your region chair, who may be part of the introduction, your zone chair, and then they introduce the district governor. So please make sure you keep that short and to the point. And you will, I'm telling you, you will go over better with the clubs if you do that. Keep it. A lot of the clubs that I went to and visited during my time, I kept everything pretty much short. And afterwards, the presidents came up and said, I really enjoyed this. You was just right on target. You kept everything short. It wasn't a long, drawn out something. So a lot of times, too much can turn people off. So try and keep it as short as possible.
Lydia, may I add something here?
Sure.
You'll be expected to give the international president's message too. So what I did, and I followed the lead of Kumara, I put something together that I could just give out to people so that I didn't have to take the time to talk about that. Maybe that's not a good thing to do. You wouldn't want to do that. I did because I'm running my district. I want to talk to my district about the district and not so much about the international president's message, but I did want to get it out. Thank you.
Yes. And I see down at the fort, most important job is to say thank you. I always started my message to the club by saying, first, I want to thank you for allowing me to come, and thank you. And you thank and acknowledge the meal, especially if it's something that they have taken the time to cook themselves. It's very important that you acknowledge that and praise them for what they've done.
Yeah,
People like to be thanked.
I guess I think what I had in mind, and obviously, yeah, you do want to thank them for hosting you, but also to thank them for their service. I mean,
Yes.
This is a organization of volunteers. We don't get paid for the things that we do. I think a big part of my job, one of the most important things I thought was to say thank you for your service and to let them know that what they're doing is just a great thing.
Yes.
And
And when
if you can look at your activities on these clubs and talk about them and then
Mhm.
maybe honor some of their members.
Yes, and tailor, of course, yes, you want to tailor the talk to that club. So before you show up, don't just show up cold. You want to
Right.
look up and know, use what you've learned during your vice district governor years and say, hey, are you guys still doing this? And find out ahead of time. And let them know that you're thinking about them, that they are important. Everyone loves hearing their own name, and clubs love hearing their own name, that you know about them.
And that is so true. Acknowledge their clubs and what they're doing in the community, the services that they're providing. And whenever possible, if they're doing service projects, try and attend them, because you'll find a lot of time they do invite the district governor. And I know the district governor have busy schedules, but when possible, try and attend some of their service projects. That goes a long ways with the clubs as well.
Yeah, okay, so then.
Lydia, Lydia, I wonder if you can just say a little bit on protocol.
But the protocol at a club visitation it changes from time to time, District Governor Fanny, but normally the district governor is the message for the day. The district governor is the agenda. You open your meeting up as you normally would with the pledge, the invocation, if you do all of that. And then once you've gone through that initial part, then the district governor is being introduced. And it usually starts with, you'll have your zone person for that club there. You'll have your region chair for that club. So usually the zone chair introduces the region chair, the zone chair is introduced by the president of that club. And then the zone chair introduces the region chair, and the region chair introduces the district governor. Once the district governor have been introduced, any other members of that cabinet that's there, the district governor will introduce them as she or he moves through whatever his format or program is for that particular club. And once you have completed it, then you introduce the rest of the members of your cabinet. Now, to keep things from being redundant, a lot of time a district governor may ask the first to cover a specific thing, which might be what's going on with LCI, and then she may ask the second vice district governor to cover a specific thing, so that the district governor is not covering everything. And once again, you want to keep everything short and to the point. But
I'm sorry to have to cut in, but if we're going to run out of time, if we don't move on here, so we still got a lot to cover. Thank you. Yes, we do need to follow. There is a protocol, and definitely that is something, and that actually is in the directory as well.
yes,
So I'm going to move us on here, and I don't even know what's up next. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I mean, there's District Governor June's pin on the upper
There it is.
right-hand corner. Typically, you'll hand out your pins to the members that are in attendance. And just for fun, I just threw on some pins there just to get some design ideas. You will tailor your pin to your goals, your motto, your whatever motto that you choose to use. Just for informational purposes, I put down there, I got mine at Pin Crafters in 2017. I ordered 1,000 pins, just short of $2,000. 1,000 is probably too much, I don't know, but you know, that's just something to consider. Continuing on with the club visits, and of course, we're going to encourage the clubs to fundraise and perform service projects, to submit monthly membership reports, submit service reports, and support our foundations. And Nick, you'll like this. California Lions Foundation, there it is. Our primary support does need to go to California International Foundation, Lions Clubs International Foundation, LCIF. There are many foundations that we support. I do not see the Student Speaker Foundation here, but there's a ton of them. And you know, the idea is to encourage the clubs to participate in all of them, to if there's memberships for clubs available, to encourage them to support all these foundations. I will not get into any extent about these foundations. Just keep them in the back of your mind. You will be hearing about these when you attend the meetings. Again, the Council of Governors meetings. I'm going to skip a little part here because we are running a little short. Governors sit at the head table. The governors cast the votes that set policy for MD4. I changed my mind. I am going to go to the website and I am going to show you, you know, what they're talking about right now. And that is the fact that, you know, they are meeting in Reading. There is a Saturday night theme, a costume party, murder mystery. They were in town on Thursday for GLT training. There is a definite schedule of events. The spouses and the partners, if you decide to bring your spouse, your partner in service, there are activities for them. And again, a lot of committees, councils meeting in private. Sometimes it's open. You break for lunch. There's hospitality suites. And then you break up on Sunday around noon, 11 o'clock noon. That's travel day. That's an informal dress day. But again, I just wanted you to see that it is quite interesting.
We're not seeing anything.
Now,
You missed it. Oh, I'm sorry.
now you got the screen up.
There was
Yeah, I got
nothing.
my screen up. I went to a website and thank you, Nick. Well, what it showed was the agenda for the MD4 Council of Governors meeting. And I'm sorry you did not see that. And I saw that just as you mentioned it, I saw that all you saw was a gray screen. Anyway, take my word for it. There's a lot going on at the Council of Governors. And again, working with your vice governors, it's your job to prepare them to follow you, keep them involved, meet on a regular basis if possible, by phone if you're separated, in person if you're not so far apart. And again, you know, work together. And basically that's it. Vice governors, look to see what your governors are doing. Governors, involve your vice governors. Budget and finance committee meetings, pre-cabinet meetings, all those things. Keep them involved because they have to learn from you. And I just threw this in there because you also want to encourage future leaders. At convention, I was walking along after a meeting. I see Alvin Lewis standing there. And I said, Alvin, you would look great in a jacket like this. So I put it on him. We took a picture together. And I asked him, what color is your jacket gonna be? You know, just doing things to encourage members coming up behind you. Quick slide for that. Okay, so this is where we really get into it. Finances, or what will this cost me? We're gonna give you some ballpark figures, talk about things that you might consider leaving out. Not that we necessarily encourage you to leave these things out, but just talk about where might you save some money. The district honorarium, the rules of reimbursement, and LCI reimbursement during your district governor year. We don't want to discourage anyone from running for governor, but we have to be honest and upfront about this. What can I leave out? Once again, you could cut back a little bit on what you include in your goodie bags, your pens, your pins, and other giveaways. I just mentioned I bought 1,000 pins. I still have a bunch of them in my drawer. You know, and those cost about, I forget, $1.50, $2 each. I forget. But, you know, these are things that you can cut back on. Visits to other districts is not required. I know, Nick, you made those visitations. I made those visitations. The only time I turned anyone down was when I couldn't, you know, I had my own district meeting. As a matter of fact, I think we had to reschedule each other one time, Nick, because I had a meeting and I couldn't come to yours, or you couldn't come to mine. I forget. But in any case, nor must you invite guests to your district. And so again, just keep in mind that convention committee will cover your guests for convention. So at the very least, invite them to convention. But, and there is a little bit of money in the budget for your invitations to your guests. You can save money by not bringing your spouse or partner in service. You know, if you're driving somewhere, it doesn't cost anything extra. The hotel room, you know, you can sleep too in the hotel room for the same cost, but the meals are a little bit extra. Most of our council, this is Nick, the council that Nick and I belong to. Nick is by himself there, but he often brought Joanne. Most of them brought their spouses. A few of us did not. I did not bring Rose because we had a young child. Her two sisters had gone off to college. We didn't want to leave Michelle by herself. Rose stayed at home. I went off and did what I had to do. But I mean, it's nice to have your spouse along, but it's not strictly necessary. The district honorarium, as we noted on the budget page, is about $1,300 per year. It's $1,300 is actually part of the hosting your guests. There are MD4 rules of reimbursement during your VDG years. Airfare, 50 cents a mile, whichever round trip, whichever is less. 75 cents per night, but you have to stay in the COG hotel. $25 per meal for the COG meals. You can't go to McDonald's or in and out across the street. You have to support the COG, and you're reimbursed $25 per meal for meals that typically cost about $35 to $45. I'm not sure if that's, Lydia, is that what you remember correctly? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's about how much the meals were then, but keep in mind that all of that have gone up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's possible
Yes,
that it's gone up.
It's gone up to at least 50.
Oh, okay, so you're still getting 25. Reimbursement is for you, not your spouse. So as I mentioned, you know, your spouse can stay for you for free in the hotel. And if you drive, no problem. But if you're flying, you got to pay for your spouse's airfare. And this is actually the form that you fill out. It's on the, I hope you're able, yes, you are able to see this one. It's actually on the MD4 website. You fill out, you know, your meals, your lodging. You have to provide the hotel bill, your actual mileage or your airfare, all within 30 days. And 30 days is way more than enough time. And you indicate which of the meetings that you went to.
So Mario, let me add that the one time that LCI takes care of your spouses is when you go to the international convention to be sworn in. I know when Larry and I went to Vegas, they did pay a portion of the air travel, and they also paid a portion of his food costs.
Right, and I did not include that in this slide. Again, LCI reimbursement, the LCI covers your district governor here. Mm-hmm. And again, it's 50 cents a mile to visit the clubs or airfare to COGS, meals. You are expected to submit a report for each club, and includes hotel reimbursement. And again, I'm going to show you, one other thing, your LCI budget. Each district has a budget for reimbursement, and that is based on these expenses submitted by your predecessor. So make sure you tell your governor, hey, turn in your expense forms. Now, it is possible, however, if your budget is not enough, to appeal to LCI, and Steve Peakey, PDG Steve, told me that he was successful in getting his budget increased the year that he was governor. So it is possible to do that And again, this is the form off the website and can actually be filled in on the computer, and you can save it. And as you go have your visitations through the month, you can do it. You can have the cabinet secretary do it. I did it myself, but this is what you submit. And there is a list of rules that you are reimbursed for 6 district meetings, 3, not 4 multiple district meetings the year that you are governor. So pick the 3 where you have the most expense. Club visits, take a screenshot or come back later and look at this. I don't want to take the time to go through this whole thing, but just know that, it is for you, the governor, and it is for visits within your district, unless it happens to be a COG or multiple district for convention. So just take a quick look at that, and I'll leave it up for a second. And you can look at the things that are disallowed. Bottom line, though, it is an expensive hobby. This service, it will cost a lot. And I'm going to put up some slides here that will give you an idea how much. And these are my personal figures. These were my vice district governor expenses beginning from the date that I announced for governor and started doing my visitations through the district governor's appreciation picnic. You can see my figure for almost $41,000 over 3.5 years. I didn't think it was fair that I include my San Bruno expenses. What did it actually cost me to do the governor thing? Brought it down to about $36,000, but that is not net because we still have the cost, the reimbursements, which I will bring up next. LCI reimbursement was about $4,000, MD4 reimbursement another $2,300, and then you can add in 4C4 reimbursement, which came to about $3,500. It was 35. Somehow I miscategorized. I made a donation to Butch Seafeld's foundation. I don't even know what ASRA stands for. I gave him $50. But anyway, yeah, reimbursement from the district was $3,500, come to about $10,000. So my net out of pocket was about $26,000 over 3.5 years. Okay, and I hope that doesn't shock you. I didn't want to just rely on myself. So what would Steve do? I give Steve Peaky a call and said, Steve, what did you spend? And here is what he sent me, my rough costs from my 3 years, including 2 LCI conventions, 2 USA Canada forums. And again, I went to 3 of each of those. So my cost would have been a little bit higher. And then he went to all the conventions and the COG, Council of Governors meetings, visiting other districts, uniforms, hosting DGs and VDGs. His total cost was 31, which is not out of line with what I just said. And then his out of pocket was $15,771. And how did he finance the other $15,000? Well, $9,000 came from rules of reimbursement, which is in line with what I did. I got about $10,000 back from MD4, 4C4, LCI. But his club did a couple of fundraisers, which is something that is not being done recently. I understand. Emil, can you talk about fundraisers? PCC Emil, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You had a great fundraiser. I thought you had a fantastic fundraiser. I don't know why I didn't do it, but go ahead.
We had a
and talk about it.
fundraiser and it raised about $3,000. It wasn't presented as a fundraiser. It was come to meet your incoming district governor is what I presented it as. And I invited the whole district to the fundraiser, and they came, and there's the club provided hors d'oeuvres. It was at a castle in Pacifica.
It was a castle.
And had a great time. And we raised about $3,000 that offset a lot of my expenses.
Right. And you just did the one?
Just the one.
Yes. Okay.
Some governors have done 2, some none.
Okay.
When I ran for governor, my net was about 1,500, or I'm sorry, 15,000. What it the net cost for me. But during my term, I was only a vice district governor for 1 year.
1 year, right,
Now
yeah,
it's
so which is
2
why I
years,
didn't
so
ask
it
you.
would be higher now.
Yeah, which is why I didn't ask you. I went around and just
Yeah.
sought opinions from people who served 3 years. And so I didn't think it was appropriate to ask you.
And things
I
have
think
changed.
Steve's was only 2 years too, Mario.
Steve was 3 years.
Was
Steve
his
was 3.
3?
Yeah, Steve was
Yeah.
3, so was Jack. So here I have Jack. And I wrote
That's
to
right,
Jack.
it ended with Mike Simmons, and he was
Esther,
the last
yeah,
one.
Esther was the
Yeah.
first one to go 3 years, right? PDG
Yeah.
Esther Lee. Okay, so then I wrote and this was by text, so I did a little copy and paste. To have a great and successful governor year, and we wouldn't expect anything less. The candidate will spend between 30 and 40,000, beginning as second vice district governor to the end of the district governor year, including farewell and appreciation event. He also mentions candidates' district fundraisers, which have disappeared over the years. I don't know who the last one was to have a district fundraiser. Perhaps it was Steve. I'm not sure. Anyone remember?
It may have been Steve's. I know I didn't do one.
I didn't do one either, and actually probably should have done it. But in any case, that is something that is certainly within the realm of possibilities. Nick, is that something that's done in your district?
It used to be. I had one for 1,500. Our problem was Kumar, myself, and Doug were caught with a Derek running for international director, and everybody's focus was on him.
Yes.
And so
okay.
we kind of complained about that.
Okay. All right. But anyway, that gives you an idea of, and you can go ahead and you can consider, the cost of running for district governor, vice district governor, and doing the 3-year terms. Obviously, we're looking at least in the $10,000 to $15,000 range. And I think I would encourage having those, having the club or someone doing a fundraiser, which I think is a great idea. And I don't think, and I got a comment here from Yvonne, I think PDG Macy was the last one to do a fundraiser. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's that answer. So again, it's a great idea, and maybe that's one way to cut down on costs. And so anyway, that was a frank discussion of the cost of doing this.
So Mario, they also need to keep in mind their uniforms, the polo shirts, the things they provide to their cabinet. And at the end, like they said, the appreciation when you have it, a lot of the gifts, even though there is money in the budget for that, it still usually is not enough. So there's still money that you will be spending out of pocket. At least I did. So, I mean, it can be quite costly, and you need to keep that in mind if you elect to do this. And I encourage them, if they can do fundraisers, because I spent anywhere out of pocket close to 20,000 up, my personal money.
And you did that in 2 years.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Lydia. It's about 11:45, so I'm gonna move on, and we can stick around for questions and answers afterwards. But let's move on. And again, I just put these down as far as district governor must-dos. Of course, supporting and encouraging the clubs, looking to develop new leaders, always looking to see who your replacement is going to be, encouraging them. Someone handed me a photograph with 3 lines together doing something, and I looked at it and I said, I see 3 future district governors. Just encouraging, growing the district. That is a big to-do thing for the district governor. Protect the district. You're gonna, a lot of people will be looking to get their favorite thing done. And you always have to keep in mind that you have to protect the district and from any liability, any commitments. If you think it's a good idea and something that should be done, by all means, go for it. But look to protect the district. And the last thing I put here is develop a thick skin, because you do let yourself in for a little bit of criticism. You just have to accept the criticism and laugh it off, or accept it and change because of it. But in any case, you you can't let it affect you too much. You just, it's easy to throw slings and arrows from the sidelines. And if you weren't doing it, why didn't they step up, sort of thing. But in any case, just take it with a grain of salt, or take it seriously. But don't let it affect your outlook and the way you serve. Just continue to do your work. This is something standard that I generally put in. Don't be afraid of failure. I put this in for the club presidents. I just kept it for the district governors. Don't be afraid of failure, because it really, you cannot fail. You're not going to achieve all your goals. You're going to have surprises. Boy, did I have some major surprises my year. Lost my first vice district governor. I was so fortunate to get Lydia to step in. I lost my secretary. She passed away in the early part of my term. But things will work out somehow. Just do your best and enjoy the year. And at the end of your term, you will have accomplished some, very good things, great things even, and made some great memories.
Yes.
But comes the hard part. You've been in office for a year and you know the job and how everything works, and your term is over and it's time to go. Time for a new leader, but you don't want to meddle and stick your nose in. Your job now is to mentor and offer advice if asked. It's over. Mario, you had a great year. It's time to go. You've got 3 vice district governors waiting in line, waiting their turn. You got Vice District Governor Fanny and Vice District Governor Helen and Vice District Governor Lydia. Waiting their turn, and it's now time for Lydia to step in. You remember that moment, Lydia?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, of course. And it's a great time. And now it's time for you to step back, and it's Lydia's turn to be at the front of the table. It's Lydia's turn to make the speeches. It's your turn to take pictures of Lydia and try and make her look good. It's time to do other things. It's time for the other vice governors to move up, and it's their turn. You've done your job. You've done a good job, hopefully. The good news is that when you are a past district governor, the district still needs your leadership as a mentor on district committees, such as what Lydia and I are doing right at this moment. On Lions affiliated foundations, you might serve on Lions Eye Foundation, Lions Education Foundation, Nick, on CLF, California Lions Foundation, any number of foundations. After 1 year, you're invited back to join MD4 committees. PDG Steve is in the COG right now. He is the chair of the Budget and Finance Committee this year. On the Global Action Team, such as Lydia and I are doing at the moment. And don't forget, you're still a member of your home club. And this picture was just taken a couple of weeks ago. Rose and I and 2 of my daughters went and we got our flu shots from San Francisco Host Lions Club at a health fair. We belong to Kaiser. We could go to Kaiser and get our flu shots, but we wanted to go visit San Francisco Host. Sometimes we'll alternate between San Francisco Host and San Francisco Premier for getting our flu shots every other year. But we just like to go and say, hey, great job, guys. And so you just continue to do the job of encouraging the Lions clubs, to encourage them to do the things that they do, because they do such a great job. Lydia, do you want to talk about this?
This is, and for District 4C4, this is part of your 7-year commitment, and that's the convention committee. And so as part of the convention committee, we serve in different roles. We serve as registration chair 1 year. Then the next year, you're the housing chair. And then the final year, you are the convention chair. So this is part of that. This is 3 years of that 7-year commitment. And then the last year, I call it you are the event planner for the PDG chairs, a social person. And also if there's things going on in the district that needs to be addressed and it requires a PDG meeting, then you are the one that called that meeting. So these things is part of your 7-year commitment. And when you tell people, oh yeah, I'm running, it's a 7-year commitment. That's the first thing they want to know. 7 years, what are the 7 years? They only think of second vice district governor, first vice district governor, and district governor. But these things are also part of that commitment. And when you sign on, you are expected, or you should have it on your agenda to fulfill your commitment by being ever present and involved in all of these years following.
Nick, it's pretty much the same in your district, right?
Exactly, exactly. And, reality is that some people don't follow through. Kumar left us, and so people had to pick up the leftovers. So
You got to be prepared for that possibility where you got to cover someone, and so that does happen.
Yes, and there is in our bylaws guidance to take care of that if indeed that happens. And I strongly suggest that if you get to that point, take care of it, because one person cannot do a convention by themselves. You need all hands on deck.
There you go. Okay, thank you, Lydia. Again, it may be different in other districts. We just heard that it's the same thing in District 4C5. So thank you, PDG Nick. Other PDG opportunities, in District 4C, in multiple District 4, one of the 15 district governors is traditionally elected by the succeeding council to be the council chair. PCC, why don't you speak about this?
The incoming council elects the council chair. So in my case, it was Ken's council, Ken Ibarra's council, who elected me as the council chair. All the council members are asked if they want to run. And in my case, there were 3 council chairs who ran, and I was fortunate to be the one selected. The council chair presides over the council. The council chair actually is part of the council. They have a vote on everything that goes into the council. So they should be part of the district council. It's a very fun position. It was an expensive position for me because there was a lot of expenses. I went down to the MD4 office on a monthly basis. I drove down every month. I'd leave at about 2 o'clock in the morning, get there at 9, and then drive back in the afternoon. It was a fun position. You got to see a lot more interaction with international, because there were issues that came up. We tied in with international and confirmed a lot of things. You have to learn more about the policy and procedure manual and the constitution of the multiple district, and you follow that pretty much by the letter. It was a great position, and I'd recommend that any district governor vie for the position because it's very enjoyable. I enjoyed it tremendously.
And Emo,
yeah,
basically the job is to provide counsel and guidance to the 15 district governors. You've sat in the chair as a district governor, you have the experience. And so, you provide some guidance and counsel to the governors. They make the decisions, or you have a vote along with them. But, you pick someone with, good head on his shoulders, which you obviously do. Here we have Rob Manning from L5. And then PCC Bob Stewart from C6, which is San Jose down to Santa Cruz in that area. But I mean, generally these people are very sensible leaders, and I think it's a great position to consider. Obviously, from our own district, we've got International Director Ken Ibarra. I mean, every once in a while, someone from this multiple is going to be put forward, nominated as an international director, and we're just so proud to have International Director Ken Ibarra from 4C4. The last time anyone from this district was over 60 years ago, and I'm even prouder of the fact that he's a member of my home club. So anyway, he's off. He's currently in Florida attending a multiple district meeting there. So anyway, those are some other PDG opportunities. And so, kind of reaching the end point here, we're Lions. We know how to conduct business. We know how to run a meeting. We know how to be formal. We know, that there's time to be serious, but, you got to have fun doing it when you're going through this thing. You got to create memories. And, these are some of the memories I created with exchange students from Japan at parties visiting. I believe that was L3. And as a matter of fact, that is now DG Bong Garcia. And then I think this is also L3. I was buying some smiles with a $20 bill from the three ladies. But anyway, just create the memories, visit the clubs, go to conventions, hand out awards. There's Nick. And Nick, I love that costume.
Fall in love with another district governor.
and Hank, this is Hank from 4L4. And the reason I included Hank is because, when I went to visit his district, when I went down to visit Mike, I stood in front of their cabinet meeting and I was given an opportunity to say a few words. And I said, boy, this district is just, because I went out and I talked to them. And I said, this district is just like my district. You remind me so much of my district. I could be a member of this district. This guy, Hank, he stands up and he hands me a membership application, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. Anyway, don't forget to thank your partner in service in anything you do. The spouses allow us to do it. And, it is something that I enjoyed so much, and I was so grateful that Rose gave me the chance to do it. The actual ceremony is, at International Convention. This is the 98th International Convention. Typically, there's going to be 18 to 20,000, maybe more Lions in the room. Rod and I were there to see Jack pull the ribbon on Macy. And just so that I can explain, early on in the week, you get your badge that says District Governor. And it's got a little ribbon at the bottom. It comes off easily if you tug on it, but it'll stay on for the week that you're there as the district governor-elect. The ribbon says elect, the badge says district governor. When Jack pulls that ribbon off, you are no longer the district governor-elect, you are the district governor. And so it's a big thing. The international president has just been installed. There's a countdown, 750 district governor-elects are in the room. And you pull the ribbon, and now you are the district governor. And that's the ceremony. And that's what we hope you're going to enjoy. And so the question is, it's an expensive hobby, and it takes time away from your family, possibly time away from your job. Why do it? Because you believe in what we do as Lions. Lions are worldwide. We work and we talk with people from other nations. We're creating a better tomorrow. We're making a better today for our youth. We're working to help people live longer lives and improving our environment, reaching out to people who can't help themselves or not in a position to help themselves. We help victims of disasters. We help families and children who can't afford their school supplies. We bring food to the hungry, and we do it all as a team. We do it as Lions together. This is what we do. We serve. I mean, when you're a district governor, or when you're a vice governor, you see all these projects, you see all these activities, and you're in the middle of it. And, I've got to say, that at the end of my term, I stood up at convention at giving my last talk, and I wept because it suddenly hit me that of all the things that we were involved with and how much it meant to me. And I guess I want you all to feel the same thing that I did in seeing these things. You don't have to be a district governor to experience it or to feel these feelings. But I mean, when it's concentrated into 3 years like that, you realize, how truly fortunate we are to be a member of this organization. And you do have the talent. I think when you're given a gift, you really show your appreciation for that gift. When you really appreciate it and are thankful, I think your first inclination is to want to give back. And so, you know, being a district governor is one way of giving back. So we ask you to consider it. I'll just throw in a picture of my mom. She joined the Lions back in the late 80s. There she is campaigning in Denver, I believe, for Don Banker. My favorite title, just some closing thoughts. My favorite title is still Lion. Being a district governor was great, but in the end, we're just Lions. And in a service organization, a leader leads by serving. And it's a unique experience. Loved every minute of it, every moment of it. And I thought, to me, it was worth every penny. So, you know, if anyone wants to reach out to me, well, you're mostly in this district, reach out to me, send me an email, give me a call, and don't forget to send me your membership ID number so I can report it to LCI. They want to know that you attended. And so I thank everyone for being here. Thank Lydia for being my co-presenter, Fanny, email, Nick, all of you who came. We can spend some time chatting. I'll unmute everyone, and anyone who wants to talk can now. Where do I do that? I do that under participants. You know what? I don't know how to ask to unmute.
They can unmute
Just press your
themselves.
space. Yeah, just press
Yeah.
your space bar if you want to ask any questions. But I mean, basically, just thank you all for being here and for even giving it some consideration, because like I said, it was emotional for me, and I just wanted to share that with you. Nick, what was your experience?
Well, I want to thank you for doing this. I was making all kinds of notes last night, and then as you were speaking, I was making notes, and you, Lydia, hit everything I had down here. So congratulations on doing that. I think you get a great presentation here, and anybody running for district governor really has a good insight. The one thing that I would add, two things maybe. First one is I searched out a credit card, and I was able to get a credit card through a US bank, and it was a Lions credit card. And so anything I spent, a percentage went to Lions International. And I had that for the entire time. So I put everything there on that card, so I knew exactly what was going on. The part that worked for me was that, and you've got to be careful, you get your reimbursement check. Oh, I'm a little short this month, I'm just going to spend this. No, you can't do that. You've got every reimbursement that comes in, you have to pay off the debt, and that helps. Because if you don't, then at the end, you're going to have something bigger there. The one other thing I'll leave you with is that my second vice district governor, first time we went out as a group, she stood up, she said, "Hi, I'm Lion Sarah Inlow, serving as your second vice district governor." And I went, bingo, that's absolutely right. And the rest of the year, when we stood up, we said that. And they picked it up, and they're still saying it in our district right now. We serve as, we're not the district governor, we are serving as a district governor. It's a temporary position. So anyway, congratulations on putting this on. Really enjoyed it.
Immediate past district governor, Fanny, any words?
This is a great presentation, very informative, and I wish more people will replay this. It's really good. I had the fortune to be substituting Liz Croak as the instructor for her session at the most recent first vice district governor training. So one of the things that from there I want to share with you was that resources, and the resources come from the training, come from material, on all the levels, and also from people. And the people that we are here surrounding us, you, Mario, Lydia, Nick, PCC, you're all great, our great resources. And I have to thank, and one more thing is that choose well. I think that one person cannot do so much as the DG, as any leader. It's your team. So I was so lucky to have Yvonne, Denise, PCC, Emo. I mean, these are the people that make yours a successful year. And then you learn from them too. So that's just my, I feel so blessed and appreciative and have the opportunity like all of you. DG is a good journey.
Thank you, PDG Fanny. PCC email, words of wisdom.
Great presentation. Thank you very much for doing it. You covered everything. The only thing I would say is that one of the biggest positions or one of the biggest jobs as a district governor is developing members within your district to take and promote them and develop them to take and grow within Lionism and take positions on within the district and within the multiple. I mean, we have a lot of talented people and we need to help them grow.
Absolutely.
It's one of the most fulfilling positions I've ever had in Lionism is being district governor. And I can't thank the district enough for taking and supporting me in doing that position and both running and everything after it. I really enjoyed it tremendously. I'd recommend it for anybody. Thank you for the presentation today.
Thank you, PCC email. PDG Lydia, final thoughts.
Well, my final thoughts is I encourage anyone that have the will, the skills, and also the time, because it's important that you have the time to run for district governor. And just know that you have district governors, past district governors in this district that are always there, available and willing to assist you. And you can count on me as being one of those. So it was a great job. I loved doing it as district governor. Yes, it was time consuming. And yes, you know, there was challenges, but that's part of life. So if you really want to serve, one of the greatest ways that you can serve the Lions organization is to become a district governor and get engaged on all levels.
Terrific. Thank you, PDG Lydia. And so again, I will thank everyone and ask one more time if anyone has any questions or any further topics they wish to discuss. It's about 10 minutes after 12. We did run a little bit long, but thank you all for coming and thank you for considering this position. And once again, I can only say that, gosh, 3 of the best years I ever spent in my life were the years as a district governor or vice governor. So thanks very much. Yes, sir.
Mario,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say something real fast. I really appreciate what you and all this seasoned veteran Lions are doing. Lion Lydia, Denise, Emil, Yvonne. This is like the greatest thing ever because it gives the next generation a chance to learn and grow with all of you guys. And without you doing this and putting your time aside, we would be helpless and we wouldn't have a chance to grow and come in and do what we're supposed to do as a Lion. So I want to say thank you to all of you for putting your time and doing this today. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone else does too.
Thank you, Lion President David. I will remind everyone that the presentation will be made available by Lion August Valera, who's in the room. Thank you, Lion August. And it will be posted on the district's YouTube channel. I don't know if anywhere else, I don't know if it's on the website or what, but at the very least, it'll be on the YouTube channel. So waves, thank you, August. And so thank you all for coming. I had a great time putting this together and working with PDG Lydia, who was a great help to me. And so I look forward to seeing you serving in the position of district governor someday soon. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mario.
I'm going to end the recording.